With mining this story to see separate fact from fiction, and please stay tuned to our channel for more updates as the evening unfolds. Francis?
Thanks, Peter. For now, coming back home, and of course the reaction continues to come into the big news yesterday relating to education in this country. Fees must fall activists in KwaZulu-Natal are now saying they reject the Fees Commission report released yesterday, saying they're going to challenge it. Student leader Bonginkosi Khanyile says it's a slap in the face of poor students. The report says that free education is just not feasible for South Africa, but it presents some ideas to help those poor students. Let's speak to that Fees Must Fall activist, student leader Bonginkosi Khanyile from our studio in Durban. Thank you for being with us, Bonginkosi. This talks about 1% of GDP going towards higher education, no registration fees, are really trying to protect students from having to pay back their student loans until they're in a job. Are you not happy at all with any of these suggestions?
No, thank you very much. And greetings to the South Africans whom are watching Komizas, fighters and ground forces. No, of course, we are not happy. Remember when the struggle began or when the struggle continued, our call was very clear. We were demanding free decolonial education. Now, when you are demanding free decolonial education and you are told about getting loan from commercial banks and some new funding model, it is not what we are fighting for. And this new funding model, it is aimed at dividing students across South Africa, which therefore suggests that those whom are poor, they must be subjected into going to study in TVET colleges, and those whom are rich and whom are so-called the middle class, the indebted middle class, it's supposed to go to universities, and those whom are rich, of which is not what we are fighting for. In fact, when you look at that report, the recommendations in that report, instead of taking us forward, it's taking us back 10 steps back. But of course, one is not surprised by that report because the current regime, young people have lost hope on them long time ago. And we are saying our struggle is for free decolonial education, not the question of new funding model. And in South Africa, we must not pretend as if South Africa is an institution, is a country whereby it does not have sufficient resources or resources to fund free education. In South Africa, we do have enough resources to fund free education. As we speak, if my sister, and last week you watched the parliament.
Let me stop you. Do we really have the resources when there are primary school students falling into pit toilets? Do we really? I think everybody would love for education to be free. This is something for youngsters. But is it right to demand it now, given the plethora of problems and the fact that the Fees Commission has at least come up with some ideas?
It's very right, my sister. Let me tell you where are resources. And to say that there are students who are sleeping in toilets who do not have enough infrastructure for them to continue with their studies does not suggest that our country is poor. Let me tell you where are resources. In South Africa, you have mines, you have banks, you have land that belongs in a private families. But beyond such, you have the administration in South Africa. You have a Minister of Higher Education, a Deputy Minister of Higher Education, you have MEC and a Deputy MEC. When you look, what is the duty of the Deputy Minister in South Africa? Beyond Mr. Mdumanana before he was fired after beating up 3 women, what is a duty of a Deputy Minister? What is the duty of the MEC? In South Africa, you have the duplication of portfolios in governance that are useless. If you claim that there is no money,
Bonginkosi, we can still hear you. We've lost the light. Let me ask a final question. I hear what you're saying. The speculation is that the president will give you what you want, free education. If he does not, you've spent time behind bars after Fees Must Fall campaigning. Will you still protest?
No, of course, the struggle continues, my sister. Also, I'm very disappointed by taking out my lights and playing with these cameras. It's very unfair. SABC, you are very unfair on us. But yes, the struggle continues, my sister. And we are calling on government that he must stop undermining the young people in South Africa. The question of free education in our country is a long overdue. And free education, it is a genuine call. And we are calling on government to withdraw that report and declare free decolonial education for all young people in South Africa. The funding model that is currently proposed, we are rejecting it as young people. The NSFAS that is also proposed for TVET, we are rejecting it. He must give us free decolonial education, and we believe that in South Africa there are enough resources. He must nationalize banks, he must nationalize mines and all strategic sectors of our own economy and render free education to our people.
All right, thank you very much. That was student leader Bonginkosi Khanyile. We apologize for that light bulb, it seems, going out. Strong views from students continue. If they don't get free education after the release of that report, students left disappointed that full free education still not announced. The ANC Women's League welcomed the Fees Commission's suggestions, however, but the EFF also rejecting the report, saying that it will cause further debt as students embark on their professional adult life.